I grew up in Pakistan.
I thought Paki meant I was from Pakistan, and I said to the guy, "What's wrong with that? I'm from Pakistan anyway." And he said, "No, no, no, it's a bad word, madam. Go and..."
नाजरीन, बरगंजा होटल लाहौर की तहजीबी और सकाफ़ती तारीख़ में 150 साल से ज़ायद शहर के अमीर घरानों और अंग्रेज़ों की सकाफ़ती सरगर्मियों का मरकज़ रहा। रुडयार्ड किपलिंग जैसे नोबल इनाम याफ्ता अदीब भी इस होटल में शाम की चाय पीना कभी ना भूलते। आज हम इस होटल की वारिस चैरल बर्गेंजा की यादें आपको सुनाने जा रहे हैं।
I grew up in Pakistan where women are really not seen on the streets at all and are basically silenced. You hear men but you don't hear women. So I grew up, I believe, without a voice.
The name Braganza is Portuguese because our ancestors were from Goa. Goa was occupied by the Portuguese for 400 years. We were originally Hindus, but our names and our religion were imposed on us by Portuguese conquerors. Of those who were rich enough, affluent enough, who came to the hotel, and those who had to beg right outside the hotel gates. When I was 6, I remember an old woman who would beg on the road right outside the hotel and smile at me on my way to school. I used to wonder, how does this woman who had absolutely nothing, how was she able to smile? Then one day, she lay there all crumpled up. People were gathered around her and were staring. I stared as well. She was dead. No one picked her up for a long, long time. And the smile I had got used to on my way to school was gone forever. I grew up Roman Catholic in a Muslim country. There was a mosque right outside our door, and the plaintive call to prayer of the mullah. I don't remember ever meeting a Muslim boy. And even though I had a brother, I never got to meet his friends. They were kept away. I attended a convent school run by Belgian nuns, not the JLA. Then later, a women's college run by American missionaries. My mother, despite the social constraints imposed on her as a woman in Pakistan, made a special effort to encourage me to appreciate the arts. With her beside me, I learned to play the piano. I remember when I was 14 years old, a professor from the Juilliard School of Music came to Lahore, and I auditioned for him. I remember playing a nocturne in C sharp by Chopin. That was it. I played and I never heard anything back. 6 months later, my piano teacher mentioned just in passing, "Oh, by the way, you did receive the scholarship. You were offered the scholarship to New York, but your parents said no, and they had chosen not to tell me." In those days, thinking back, in those days America for them was fast cars, booze, Hollywood, and sex. So I can see why they did this. 1 year later, Roman Catholic nuns with whom I studied suggested a year of language study. Where else? In Rome. This time my parents raised no objection because I would be closely supervised by nuns. I thought back to the way traditional Salvation society regarded daughters. In a general sense, we were considered burdens to families.
What was that?
Translate bird.
Heavy load. Heavy load.
A common expression among parents of daughters was, "We are raising flowers for someone else's garden." I remained shy and awkward in front of my new friends who knew so much more about Western classical music than I did. I admired their bluntness and that they felt so comfortable about speaking their mind. And I wanted so much to be like them, but I couldn't. I did not dare. I was afraid of being ridiculed, of being laughed at. So instead, I turned inward and I started to write and to paint. I retreated in silent moments into another world.
पुर्तगेज़ी बरगेंजा ख़ानदान ने इस होटल की बुनियाद 1880 की दहाई में रखी। ये होटल लाहौर रेलवे स्टेशन के ऐन सामने उस जगह वाक़या था जहाँ से मैकलोड रोड का आगाज़ होता है। अंग्रेज़ी सहूलतों से आरास्ता ये होटल लाहौर में बहुत मशहूर था। शहर के रईस, अमीर एंग्लो इंडियन और सरकारी मुलाजम अंग्रेज़ इस होटल में मुस्तकिल आने वालों में शामिल थे। इसका वसी लॉन, खूबसूरत हाल और कमरे काबिल दीद थे। तक़सीम पाकिस्तान के हवाले से अंग्रेज़ों और मुस्लिम लीग के रहनुमाओं की अहम मुलाकातें जो तक़सीम के फार्मूले के हवाले से थीं, अक्सर इसी होटल में होती। 1947 की तक़सीम में ये होटल अंग्रेज़ी और गोरखा फ़ौजियों का हेडक्वार्टर बना रहा। लाहौर में जब हंगामे फूट पड़े तो अमीर लोग पनाह की तलाश में इस होटल में सर छुपाते। बरगेंजा ख़ानदान क़याम पाकिस्तान के बाद भी लाहौर में मुकीम रहा। ये घराना हमेशा शनाख्त की तलाश में रहा। पाकिस्तान में इन्हें एंग्लो इंडियन और गैर मुल्की समझा जाता, और जब ये घराना होटल बेचकर बाहर गया तो पाकिस्तानी शनाख्त से जाना जाता और ताने सहने पड़ते। शायद किपलिंग ने इन्हीं के बरगेंजा होटल के टेबल पर बैठे अपना मशहूर डायलॉग लिखा था कि मशरक़ मशरक़ है और मग़रिब मग़रिब। चायरल बर्गिंजा अपने रोज़ के विज़िटर के इसी जुमले के दरमियान हमेशा फंसी रही।
Eventually, when I moved to the suburbs, where we experienced racism, where the word Paki in big letters was burnt onto our front lawn in the suburbs, I was just horrified. First of all, I didn't even know what Paki meant at the time. I was so naive and innocent. I mean, I thought Paki meant I was from Pakistan, and I said to the guy, "What's wrong with that? I'm from Pakistan anyway." And he said, no, it's a bad word, madam. Go inside, we'll take it off. And then after that, we were getting phone calls saying, get out of here, we don't want your kind here. And my children were being called, all kinds of names on their way back from school. And so my first thought is, I don't want to live here anymore, let's leave. I couldn't believe that people could be so cruel, just because the color of our skin was different. This policeman came to our house, and big white guy, and he looks at me, he says, but you have a right to live here like everyone else. And I looked at him and I was like in shock. Nobody had ever said that to me before. But that didn't take away the fear every morning. They don't want us here. They don't want us because we're Indian. So I'm going to try to be as white as possible. So I stopped cooking Indian food so my children's clothes wouldn't smell when they went to school. I stopped dressing in a sari or shalwar and kameez. All my earrings, any Indian looking earrings, I put away. I'd wear just pearls. I was really being such a fake. And I didn't realize it for the longest time. And I started processing things inside and slowly decided, hey, listen, Chyrel, it's time to speak up. It's time.
चायरल बर्गेंजा लाहौर शहर के बागात और बसंत के रंगों से बहुत मुतासिर है। ये रंग उनकी मुसव्वरी में नुमायां दिखाई।
when I dip my brush in blue, I don't know why I'm dipping it in blue. It just happens. It happens almost automatically. I just feel that this is what I need to open at this time, and this is where my brush will take me. I come from a country where color is prevalent in every aspect of life, and so I had to come here and express it. For a while I was chastised by artists and art galleries here because I did paint in bright colors. They'd say to me, "I'm sorry, but we don't go for those colors here. You have to subdue your colors." And I said, "I can't." For me, that expresses my emotion. Sometimes I paint and I don't know why I'm painting. For example, these three paintings, all done in black and white, were done in January of 2005. And I had no realization why I was painting in these colors. But 2 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. Ever since I've been in remission, my creative energy has increased 100-fold. So I am painting now, and I'm writing and I'm playing music because I know more than ever that our time is limited. Creativity will spark for me some kind of immortality. And that's what I think I'm striving for now. I want to be eternal. And I can only do it through my work, through my painting.